If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome you all to this new series where we will be starting electrical machines. So in this lecture again we will be solving 5 questions starting from question number 1 to question number 5. Okay, then let's try to solve all these 5 questions. Okay, in question number 1, a separately excited DC motor has an armature resistance of 0.5 ohm. It runs from a 250 volt DC supply drawing an armature current of 20 ampere at 1500 rpm. For the same field current, the torque developed for an armature current of 10 ampere. Now you have changed the armature current, but field current remains same. So some of the formulas of DC machines you should always remember. So if I draw a separately excited DC machine, so this field is separated and here it is connected to 250 volt. There will be armature resistance, and after that this back EMF will come. So the first thing, what is the relation between this mechanical power and electrical power? That you have to always remember. That is torque into omega is equal to EB into IA. So this is one of the main formula or the heart of the DC machine. So this is the mechanical power. So whatever, suppose it is generator, so you will be delivering, you will be giving input as a mechanical power. So this much electrical power will come out of which some losses will be there, and finally you will get this terminal voltage. So deducting everything, you will get the voltage, electrical net output. And if you give electrical input in case of motor, then this is you are giving. So deducting all these things, you will come at across this. So this much net electrical power is transferred as mechanical power. And after that again also there will be mechanical friction, Windage loss. After that you will get the net mechanical power. So this is the main thing, main formula, heart of this one. And also another one, EB equal to what is this back EMF, how much EMF will be generated, that is phi Z NP by 60A. So this also one of the another most useful formula for your DC machine. So you remember this one, phi is your flux, Z is your conductor, N is speed in RPM, P is pole, A is the number of parallel path which is equal to 2 for it is wave connection, and it is equal to P number of pole if it is a lap. How to remember this one? We used to remember in this way, lap means it is ending with P, P means pole. So lap is 2 and then obviously wave is 2. So you can remember in this way. So from that one another formula can be created, that is torque into omega is equal to, in place of EB you write phi Z NP by 60A and then IA. So torque is equal to, if you change this omega, that is, or you change, this is also speed, this is also speed, this is in radian per second, this is in RPM. So you need to change any one. Suppose N is in RPM, if I want to change it in radian per second, so N into 2 pi, one revolution is 2 pi radian. If you go a complete revolution, that is 360 degree, that is per minute. If you want to go to per second, so it becomes in radian per second if you change. So if I write in place of omega, this is equal to omega. So omega equal to the relation between N, you can multiply all these things, it will become omega. So in place of omega, if you put this and you cancel it out everything from both sides, 60 and then you will finally land with somewhere here. Torque is equal to phi Z P IA by 2 pi into A. So from here generally what we say, torque is direct, because you can see this, all these are constant because these are machine parameters. So number of conductor will be same, pole will be same, it will not change. Once you fix everything and you close your motor and you seal it, the number of conductor you cannot change arbitrarily, number of pole, because you have fixed everything, you have mounted everything, you have connected all screw nuts, and now it is fixed. So number of parallel paths, what connection you have given inside, that is all fixed. So now you can change outside only flux and this IA. So generally it is said that torque is directly proportional to phi into IA. So these things you have to remember. One thing you see here, so these are the formulas what you will do. So this was the first question. I thought that I will explain all the formulas for DC machine. These are mainly required. If you require any additional formula, we will discuss that. Now it runs at 250. Initially it was drawing as 20 ampere. So let us calculate what is EB here. So it is drawing 20 ampere. So your EB is equal to, because of motor, then it will be whatever supplied minus this loss will come here. If it is generator, then EB minus loss becomes V. And if it is motor, then V plus this loss, V plus this drop, V minus this drop, because you are supplying from this side. So these losses will come into armature resistance is 0.5. So it is 240. So what is your torque at that condition? Because your omega they have given, what was this speed at that time? It was running at 1500 rpm. So you can calculate this one. Your torque is equal to, if I apply this formula, so your torque into omega, that is 1500 rpm, so you change it to radian per second because omega is in radian. EB is 240, Ia they have given 20. So if you calculate from here, you will get at that time torque is 15.2788 Newton meter. Now you might be thinking, then sir, for 10 ampere also let me go in this way. If I put 10 ampere, I will get EB into 10 ampere. Okay, you can go in this way for 10 ampere also, but what will be the problem if I go suppose for 10 ampere? So it will be 250 minus 10 into 0.5, that is your EB into Ia. But now the problem is you don't know omega, because what will be at 10 ampere omega you don't know, because if you're changing torque, then speed will obviously change. So this product is fixed, you know, but this is also unknown, this is also unknown, both these becoming now unknown for you. So that's why you cannot put now, go by this formula. So what is the idea? The idea is here, because it is separately excited, this phi is fixed, they have given, so its torque is directly proportional to Ia. So you are reducing this current 10, so obviously your torque will obviously reduce and speed will increase. So your torque will be how much now? Because it is directly proportional to Ia, torque is, because in separately excited, so in different types of motor this relation will change into different. For separately excited motor, because your phi is externally, you are fixing it, so it becomes constant, so T is directly proportional to Ia. So T1 by T2 is equal to, if it is directly proportional, I told you it is 1 to 1 to relation. So T1 is this one, 15.2788, T2 you don't know, and corresponding I1 was 20, now it is 10. So this means your torque is obviously, it will be the half of this one, that is, sorry, this is actually 30.5577. So if you divide it by 2, then it is 15.8, it's 30.5577. So this is your answer here, 30.5577. If you divide by 2, it will be 15.2788. So this is your answer. Now if you come to question number 2, neglecting all losses, the developed torque of a DC separately excited motor operating under constant terminal voltage is related to its output P. So it is separately excited, so I told you torque is directly proportional to Ia. So if it is directly proportional to Ia and your terminal voltage is also fixed, so if you are fixing its terminal voltage, that means whatever terminal voltage, so that means you can say, you can multiply it by constant. So torque is directly proportional to V into Ia, because V is constant, no problem, you can multiply by constant, because ultimately it will be directly proportional to Ia only. So torque is proportional to P, you can say, because V is constant. If I say something is proportional to, what is the proportionality? If this increase, this should increase, so you can multiply by constant P. Like here you can see torque is proportional to phi A, I have removed that phi because constant, so you can include this on constant also. That is the property of variation, because it is not a variable, it is a constant value. Suppose 10, so if I say torque is proportional to Ia, I can say torque is proportional to 10 into Ia also, because 10 doesn't make any sense here, because the idea is if it is increased, it should increase. So that means torque is directly proportional to P, because V is fixed. So if you change your P, what will happen? Because this is fixed, obviously Ia will change, so Ia will change, accordingly T will change. So that is your option B. Now if you come to question number 3, a cumulative compound long shunt motor. Long means this shunt will be the long one. If you see the short shunt, then it starts from here. You remember this one, long means it should be long enough in cumulative. If it is a short shunt, then it will come here. So it is a long shunt, you can see here. Okay, so in this long shunt, what it is done, if the series field is shunted by resistance, so you have connected a resistance equal to the resistance of the series field, whatever the series field resistance, the same resistance, now it is not a field, it is pure resistance is connected, keeping the torque constant. Okay, the torque is constant here. So here if you see, there are two fields are there, one is due to shunt, one is due to series field. There are two fields, one is due to this one. This is fixed because your supply is fixed, you are not changing supply. So everything is, whatever they changed, they wanted, you just change that one, and rest you think it is fixed. And it is cumulative, so both these fluxes are added. So your flux, total flux was due to shunt field and due to series field. So this is series field. So this is your Ia, okay. Now, and this itself was the series field current also, IF for this series. And this is your IF for this shunt field. Now if you connect a resistance here, what will happen? Suppose this current IA is same, this current IA is same. So if you connect this one, this current will have two branch. Okay, this one branch, this one branch. Okay, if you are driving at rated speed, rated torque, that means your power is fixed. So this IA should be fixed because it should be IB into RA. Okay, whatever. Then EB is also fixed because this is the same drop, it will be there. So V minus same drop will be EB, and IA should be this current is also fixed. Okay, now what will happen, because you are created one parallel branch, this current will have two paths now. So obviously this will reduce. This current, this flux due to this field will reduce, because the current entering here will be less, because it has two paths now, equal two paths, so it will be divided by almost. If it is reducing, then phi is reducing, but your torque is directly proportional to phi into Ia. So because Ia is fixed, there is no change in Ia, but this phi is reducing. So what you need to do, because your torque should be constant, they are asking you, so to make this constant you need to increase this Ia, because otherwise it will not happen. So it will automatically, because you are keeping it constant torque, so because your phi is reducing, so you need to increase. Once you increase this one, then whatever decreased it one, it will be compensated. Suppose earlier it was 4, now suppose it is 2, so you make it now 8, so 8 will divide into 4, so this branch will remain at 4, because earlier it was carrying 4 only. Normally suppose it was carrying 4, now because you have given these two branches now, so it becomes 4, 2. So to make it 2, you make the original current 8, so that this branch is also get 4, this branch is also, because I need to fix this branch phi. Because it is reducing, so it will increase. Once it will increase, then it will come to its original place, then you can see both will settle at a new point. So that means your armature current will increase. So in order to make that, because it is reducing, that's why it will increase. So that is option A. And it will settle at that increased value, 8 ampere, it will settle. So ultimately your armature current previously was 4, now it is 8. So it is settled at higher value armature current. So that's why armature current is increased. But this torque is remaining fixed, because your phi is getting reduced. So that's why. So exactly 2 it may not be, but I have just given an idea, rough idea. Number 4, a 4-pole dynamo with an wave-wound armature has a 51 slot containing 20 conductor. So 20 conductor in each slot. So total conductor is 51 into 20, Z. The induced EMF is this, the speed is this, the flux per pole. So you know E is equal to phi Z NP by 60A. So we'll put all this there. So E they have given 357, phi you don't know, Z is 51 into 20, N is the speed in RPM, P is the pole in 4, 60 it is wave wound it is 2, lap wound it is A is equal to this one, P. So if you do all this stuff, you will get phi is equal to 1.23 milliwatt, that is your option B. Now if you come to question number 5, a differentiably compound DC motor with interpoles and with brushes on neutral axis is to be driven as generator in the direction with the same polarity of the terminal voltage. It will then same polarity of the terminal voltage. So it was differentially compound, means series and shunt field wire is an opposite polarity. So this is the, suppose this is the motor initially, so obviously the shunt current is in this direction, the armature current is in this direction, because it was acting like a motor, it was getting supply. Now if you make it generator, now what will be, this output is fixed, this polarity is fixed, obviously this will also fixed, because then the current is this. So now it is generator, now you are feeding power, so it should come out of this, so the current will come out. So you can see the armature current direction is changed, because it is changed, so the series field direction is changed. Initially when there is both direction, what was the idea, when they are in same direction, this direction, your shunt is in this direction, series in, then they were minus, because they are differentially connected, they are cancelling it out. Now the shunt remains same, but you change this series, so now they will add this, because earlier this flux was opposing this. If you change the direction, then both the flux will add each other. So they will add means it will be obviously a cumulatively compound generator. So either A or B. Now but the interpole coils connection are being reversed, to be reversed without reversing. Now interpoles are connected in series with the armature current. So that will be automatically changed, because your armature current itself is changing. So initially if the interpole was getting this current, this direction current, now because you change armature, so that will also get in this direction. So because no need to change that connection, because it is always connected in series with your armature. So if your armature direction change, then automatically change, because you are making it generator, so interpole will automatically change it. It's to nullify the effect of armature reaction. So it is always connected in series with armature, because your armature current by itself inherently it is, you are not changing any connection of armature, because you are making it generator, so by inherent property it is changing this direction. So automatically through interpole also it will automatically change, it will be in series with the armature current. So that's why no need to change this one interpole coil connection, that is option B. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.